Hello everyone, Salt here. Welcome to the video. Today we are going to be going over the Velox Prime. This is the new weapon that came out with Protea Prime today. So in this weapon series, I take a weapon, I build it out, and I test that weapon on its own merits, meaning I don't mix that weapon with any kind of external factors that would increase its weapon performance. That would be things like Warframe abilities, pets putting statuses on enemies, things like that. I just test the weapon by itself, and I let the viewers make their own intelligent conclusions about adding those external factors. So let's get into the Velox here. This is actually my second video I'm doing on the Velox. I've been doing a lot of testing. I put out a video not too long ago, and then after doing more testing after that video, I found I could make it slightly better. So this is the slightly better build here. This I think is going to be the strongest build though for the Velox. So interesting things about the Velox are going to be the unique trait here. So when you completely empty the magazine, you're going to get plus 50% reload speed on that empty magazine. So whenever you're able to, if you can dump your magazine into enemies, dump it into enemies. Of course, if there's no enemies around you and you have to go for a manual reload, that's fine too. It's no issue. Also, you're going to get 20% ammo efficiency. And if you're using the Velox on Protea, you get another 20% ammo efficiency. So 20% for everyone else and 40% for Protea. The other thing about the Velox is that it has a low status chance. So low status chance, high status. Okay, so let's get into the mods here. We're going to use Galvanized Diffusion for multi-shot. We're going to be using Galvanized Shot for status chance and direct damage per status type affecting the target. We're going to use Galvanized Crosshairs for critical chance. Lethal Torment for fire rate and multi-shot. Prime Target Cracker for crit damage. Karna's Stinger for slash and plus 60% status chance. So as far as like the element weighting goes on the Velox, now we've added viral and we've also added a little bit of slash here. But even without adding this slash is still more highly weighted on this weapon. And so by adding Karna's Stinger, we put it at a better value to compete with viral. Viral is still going to be higher than our slash value, but it competes better than what it was at its base, which I believe is like 13-ish. Frostbite for 60-60 cold. Pistol Pestilence for 60-60 toxin. And that's going to make viral. And now in the Exilus slot, I have Spry Sights here, but let me explain something about the Velox. The Velox has a very bad recoil, and so you have to have negative recoil somewhere. Now, if we look at Exilus mods here, there's a mod called Steady Hands. That's a great Exilus mod for negative recoil. Now, the reason I'm not using it is because I'm going to be using an arcane called Secondary Deadhead. This gives us a 360% flat damage increase, plus 30% headshot multiplier, which is nice, and negative 50% weapon recoil. So we get a lot of negative recoil on Deadhead. So there's no longer a reason for us to actually have to have Steady Hands in the Exilus slot. So instead we get to pick kind of a utility option, and it's really going to be up to you. I'll go over some good ones, but if you find another one you like, that's fine too. So Spry Sights is going to make us or help us to move a little bit quicker while we're aiming in. We are going to be aiming in because of Galvanized Crosshairs. Targeting Subsystem could be an option. So this will increase your accuracy slightly. Once you're able to tame the recoil, it's actually not that inaccurate, but this will help it to be a little bit more of like a pinpoint accurate weapon targeting subsystems. And then the other options are going to be Primed Pistol Ammo Mutation or Pistol Ammo Mutation. This will help you to not run out of ammo. Now, in my previous video, there were a couple of instances where I ran out of ammo. And so Prime Pistol Ammo Mutation may be a good option in the Exilus slot here. I'm going to run without this, just that way you can make your own decision on that. If you see me running out of ammo, maybe you decide to use prime pistol ammo mutation yourself. Maybe you're like, I don't want to encounter that. Maybe I'll just use prime pistol ammo mutation. Or maybe you want to choose one of the more utility options. So that's the build here for the Velox. So something about the criticals is this has a low base critical of 14%. There's a few critical mods here, and something I changed the build up with. So this build originally was using both critical mods. It was using Galvanized Crosshairs and Creeping Bullseye. But it was good, and I think it's actually going to be almost the same as this build. I think this build's going to be slightly better. I think this build might eke out a little bit more DPS. But the previous build used both critical mods. And the reason we're using Galvanized Crosshairs over Creeping Bullseye is Creeping Bullseye is a 200% critical chance, and Galvanized Crosshairs is a 320% critical chance. So it's a lot more than Creeping Bullseye. There are conditionals with it that you have to get headshot kills. It's not that difficult to get headshot kills, although the later you go into Steel Path, the problem with how, and it's going to change eventually because they're lowering the cap on armor, but the problem with very high-end Steel Path, like when you start getting near level cap, you start having an issue where the only thing that's actually doing damage is slash. And so enemies are basically just dying from slash procs. And so you're not able to get headshot kills. So if you're going to do very, very, very high-end Steel Path, I'm talking like probably like, level 4,000, 5,000 enemies and above. I don't know why you would bring the Velox into that, but like, let's say you were. If you were doing that content, maybe Creeping Bullseye would beat it out, because now you're not really going to be getting those headshot kills, and you're only going to be able to sit at that 120 that you can get easily without getting those headshot kill conditionals. But any content before that, it's easy to get headshot kills. You just have to aim good. So, alrighty, I think that's about it for the Velox explanation there. So, because I don't mix this with any kind of external factors, I'm going to be doing this on a big dumb Anaros with no Archon shards that increase weapon performance, no mods on the Anaros or arcanes on the Anaros that increase weapon performance, and with a pet with no sentinel weapon and no mods on the pet that increase weapon performance. That way we could just take a look at what the Velox looks like. So, just make sure I'm on the right build there. Critical, okay. So we're going to do a Steel Path, Kua Fortress, Uni. The original video only had like 35 views on it, so I figured I would take that down quickly and make a new video real quick before I got too many like people looking at a build that was slightly weaker. Like I said, they're about the same, but I want to make sure people have the absolute min-max stuff. So all weapons are going to start out pretty shitty until you get your conditionals up. So let me get a few conditionals here, and then we'll be slaying. I guess we might be able to directly compare this to the other one. Although, it's always going to be a little bit different because your gameplay may vary. Maybe on my first video, I was in hallways and it was easy for me to get a lot of kills. So on my first video, in 10 minutes, I got 403 kills. So I guess we'll see here. Am I going to get more than 403 kills? But like I said, I mean, it's not. You can't really directly compare it. It's completely different situations that'll happen. On my first video, in 10 minutes, I only really fought one Acolyte. So that'll change it too, because I spent more time killing trash in that first video because of it. The difference is the first build, it had both critical mods, and so I was at pretty much It wasn't exactly 100%, although with like one puncture proc it probably would have been. But it was almost 100% crit chance, and so every shot was a yellow. But I was getting less slashes, but more powerful slashes. This one will produce more slashes. And I mean, they're not going to be as powerful, but they're still pretty powerful. So I think the quantity of the slashes on this build will probably beat out the quality of the slashes on the other build. And also the puncture procs, like, I should only really be getting about, what is it, 14% base crit? Is it 14 or 16? Let's just say it was 14. So 320 puts me at 14 times 3. That's 38, 42, and then 20% of 14, which is like 3. It's like 45%. Plus 14. So 45 plus 14, it's like 59? Oh my God, I'm trying to do math here. 59-ish% criticals. So I should only be doing like 60-ish% criticals, but it seems like a lot more than that, and that's because of the puncture procs. So I think the puncture procs on enemies that like we've shot a few times, they're getting us to like almost that 100%. Because like once I've laid into an enemy, you see that you don't really see much whites anymore. Like this dude started out white, now it's all yellow, right? Because he's got a bunch of puncture procs on him, and that's what puncture does. So maybe we don't need both critical mods, right? Like maybe we don't need both critical mods, and instead we can bank on more slash, which I think is the right way to go. I think the build with both critical mods starts stronger because you start like in full yellows basically. But on anything that lasts for like more than half a second, you're pretty much in full yellows on this because of the puncture procs. I have a bad habit of manually reloading, so I might not be playing this to its full potential where you get that 50% quicker reload. So keep that in mind. Maybe you're a little bit better at not manually reloading like I am. Or than I am, I should say. On the first video when the Acolyte came out, this is a very average Acolyte killer. There's really nothing special about it. This might actually even do worse on the Acolyte than the other one because the slash procs will be slightly weaker. And you can only get 4 slash procs, so we're going to get 4 smaller slash procs than the other one's 4 moderate-sized slash procs. Well, moderate is a relative term because they are still pretty small. We're at 5 minutes. I'm going to hit like 1 life support before the Acolyte comes. I am lost in the sauce here. There it is. I did a lot of testing on a lot of different builds. And that's why when I was like, I should really test Karna's Stinger a little bit more than I had before. And I was a little bit salty about it. I'm like, oh my goodness, I got to put another video up. Because that was, shouldn't say it was wrong, but it was not like maximum. It wasn't maximized as much as it could have been. Do we have an Acolyte up? We haven't really. It's going to be a late Acolyte, isn't it? The Acolyte can come anywhere between like 3 and 8 minutes. So we're at 6 minutes in with no Acolyte. He's just a late Acolyte. That Blitz Eximus is just knocking me all over. Wow, this is a really late Acolyte we're getting here. 7 minutes 30 seconds with no Acolyte. Is it going to be like the maximum time you can spawn in? I think 8 is the maximum. Maybe it goes past 8 minutes. I thought it was 3 to 8 minutes. Unless he spawned and I just didn't see it. Maybe he like glitched out. That happened in the last video, weirdly. I don't know why. Violence spawned in for like a second and then he just dipped out. He was like, nope. Yeah, we are past 8 minutes now with no Acolyte. If you don't want to aim in, you could also use that critical delay or what is it called on secondaries? Creeping Bullseye. I mean, that's an option too. I know there are people that don't like aiming in. It's a little bit more consistent. You're always going to be at 200%. Whereas this one, you could be over, you could be under sometimes. It depends on how many headshot kills you can get. To be equal to Creeping Bullseye, you have to maintain about 2. And then once you're at 3, you're a little bit over. And then 4 and 5, you're way over. So it's really up to you, whatever you decide. Creeping Bullseye is pretty decent too. You'll eke out a little bit more DPS with Galvanized Crosshairs, but it is a little bit more aim intensive. I'm not the best aimer. I'm decent, but I'm not the best. If you're better at aiming than me, you could probably like easily just stay at 5 stacks. Alrighty. That's 10 minutes. We didn't get an Acolyte. Oh my goodness. 452 kills. That was better than last time, but we also spent at least a little bit fighting an Acolyte on the first one. So I would say that probably equals out about the same. Let's find the exit. I don't see a green marker. Oh, I just saw it. I saw it for a split second. It's over here. I don't see it anymore, but I'm going to guess it's straight. Yeah, I saw it for a second again. All right, now which way? Which way? That's very weird. Maybe he spawned and I didn't notice it and he just like despawned immediately. Because like I said, that did happen last video. Violent spawn and then for no reason, like half a second later, he just despawned. So the next part of the test that I always do, just for people that haven't watched my content yet, is I do Kver Survival and I do 10 minutes on Lua Conjunction. Lua Conjunction is going to be a little bit higher level enemies, 180 to 200. They're going to be mixed enemies, so they won't all be just Grineer. And they are going to force me to fight Thoraxes, which are kind of like big, fat Super Eximuses. So let's start this Lua Circulus. Now, sometimes on Lua Circulus, average weapons can fail because they can't keep up like as many kills to get yellow life supports, and they can't deal with the big Thoraxes, and the Thoraxes will suck like life support away. Now, again, if you haven't watched my content, like me, myself, when I do these average weapons, like basic assault rifles, like let's say the Kuva Hind, the Kuva Carrick, the Flux Rifle, things like that, They hit at about like 350 to 400 kills in 10 minutes. So I compare everything off of that, basically. So 450 kills on this for Kver Survival. Technically above average, but I also didn't spend any time fighting not Thraxes, Acolytes. So that probably would have lowered the trash kill count at the end there. So it looked above average. I'm still going to probably think it's an average weapon, though, because I think if I had fought an Acolyte, we wouldn't have gotten as many trash kills. Like I said, this build and the build I had in my original video are extremely similar. Like, the differences are so minor, I was questioning putting up a another video. I was like, oh, I'm going to do another video, but I have a little bit of OCD, and I could not, like, sleep well knowing that I had a subpar build-up. So I was like, I gotta erase that one. It only had like 35 views so far, and I was like, I gotta erase that one, put up the actual, like, one that is, like, you know, 1% better. Crit chance would be a good stat on a Riven, though, for this. Whether you're using critical delay or you're using crosshairs or bullseye or whatever the hell the galvanized one is called. I always forget what the secondary one is called. I think it's galvanized crosshairs. Crit chance would be pretty good on a Riven, because then you'd be more comfortably sitting in full yellows instead of having to ramp up to full yellows because of puncture stacks. Multi-shot's always good. Multi-shot's probably going to be amazing on this. And, yeah, probably crit damage. So, you know, just your basic god roll. Easy to get. Crit chance, crit damage, multi-shot. Just another Tuesday, getting the god rolls all the time. I am so unlucky with my Riven rolling. I have millions of Kuva. I am sitting on millions and millions of Kuva, and I have spent millions and millions of Kuva. And I have only ever gotten one god roll. And it's questionably not even a god roll because it has status chance on a weapon that's a little bit more crit heavy. I think it's like multi-shot, crit chance, status chance, and then a negative zoom. It's like, yeah, the status chance probably could have been crit damage instead. But that is the only Riven I've ever gotten that was possibly a god roll. And it was for the Athodai. A very, like, weird, mediocre weapon. I have such horrible luck with Riven rolling. I think that's why I sit on so much Kuva. I sit on millions of Kuva because I don't even care about spending it because I know it's going to be shitty. Right, I've got the Acolyte coming. I'm going to try to, like, run to these life sports real quick and hit one, and then we'll fight the Acolyte, like, right here. Let's make sure we got our dead head up and stuff. All right, we got Torment. He's the Hydroid. He's easy. He just is annoying because he goes into Hydroid's wave and he becomes invulnerable. He was an early Acolyte. He came out of 3 minutes. I don't know what the hell happened on the last map. So as you see, like with the damage, very, very mediocre, right? Like it's not going to feel bad, but it's not going to feel good either. It's just, it's okay. It's it's something that will kill the Acolyte, but you're not going to feel that great while you're doing it. Where the hell did he go? There he is. Now he's behind me. Friggin' the Hydroid Acolyte. He is annoying. Got my weapon stolen. He's even more annoying, this Dracmaster. I am getting bullied here. I'm just basically going to kill Trash while I kill him. I should have my status immunity up because I'm going to just get perma-staggered here. 3. There we go. I was like, why is my 3 button not going? If for some reason this fight goes on to 5 minutes, I'll have to switch to focusing on Torment to focusing on Thraxes. Because Thraxes will suck your life support. Torment's just annoying, right? Torment's just dangerous to keep up, but he's not sucking your life support. So when the Thraxes come out, they're going to be made priority. I really need to start marking these Acolytes because I lose track of where the hell they are. All right, let's go to these Thraxes. All right. So one Thrax dead and my operator dead. Oops. Come on, Saul. You should have just shot those last 2 bullets. See what I'm saying on my manual reload? I am bad with that manual reload. Those slashes should probably kill him. Yep. All right, Thraxes are down. Let's try to stabilize here. My first video, I was not able to get past the 5-minute mark like in a stable fashion. So this time, I killed both Thraxes. I'm going to try to hit a couple life supports and stabilize my my main life support. Actually, I'm at 43%. Let me see if I can kill the Acolyte while I'm here. And then we could run to the other ones. Oh, I ran out of ammo. I'm going to have to use an ammo pad. Okay, so that's the first time I've used an ammo pad. So that'll give you an idea on possibly using the ammo mutation in your Exilus slot because of that. I still haven't decided for myself because, like, sometimes as long as you're getting a lot of kills, like as long as you're killing trash, you're not going to have ammo issues, but it's when you start having to fight big dudes like the Acolyte where he's not, you know, you're not killing him over and over, so of course he's not dropping ammo. Like right here, I'm having more ammo issues. All right, I am going to have to run to that set of life supports there. Down Steel Path, you can't spam ammo pads, so I'm going to have to wait a little bit to throw another ammo pad down. I'll probably hit, probably going to have to hit all 3 of these life supports, actually, and just hope that the Acolyte heads over to me. I'm doing better than my first run, although it's kind of falling apart here because of the ammo and Torment living his best life across the map there. That's not spawned yet. Let's get our conditionals up again. Let's kill some little dudes, get some headshots, and we'll switch back to Torment here. Got my weapon stolen, as is tradition. Ooh, I probably should not have meleeed there. I don't think I got any kills. I do apologize for that. I try not to use other weapons or abilities while I'm doing these. The poor man just wants to live his best life. We're going to have to put him out of his misery here, though. All right, he's down. All right, let's hit that life support there. Maybe we can get the pack of enemies to kind of Congo line over to us. On the way. Maybe I'll get past the 10-minute mark on this one. We'll see. If I can get to 10 minutes and have the Thraxes down, both of them, before I run out of like my main life support, I'll consider that at passing the 10-minute mark. So that's why, you know, runs vary. My first run did not even pass the 5-minute mark. I'm out of ammo here. Oh, I actually just picked up a few. Okay. Haven't had to use any ammo pads except for that one. But I'm kind of getting a little bit close. I think now that I have the Acolyte down, I can just focus on trash and I won't have issues here. Punch through actually is a really good stat for secondary Rivens, especially secondary single target weapons, because like primary weapons, they have prime shred. They have a good way to get punch through. because you're almost always going to need fire rate, so you can get punch through and fire rate with Prime Shred. Well, secondaries don't have that. Secondaries, their punch through mod literally is just punch through. And a lot of times it's not worth just putting punch through as a mod. So if you can get it on your Riven, like along with some other stats, that's a really good one too. So a punch through is probably right up there with crit chance, crit damage, and multi-shot. Probably not as high as some of them, but like if I got punch through with some of those other ones, I'd be happy. Like if I got crit chance, punch through, crit damage, I'd be happy. Or multi-shot, punch through, crit damage or something, you know? All right, let's, I think that guy's going to die from slash procs. It's one down. Can he do it? Can he pass the 10-minute mark here? Actually, I think technically we have a life support over there. I'm going to run and hit that real quick because we're only at 12%. Oh, that door is closed. %. Oh my goodness. Oh, just short. Just short. I wonder if I had stayed and not tried to get the life support, if I could have killed that Thorax. So we technically failed the 10-minute mark there. So 10 minutes, we're at 315 kills. Which is a little bit below average. You are expecting, you know, again, this is all based on my gameplay, but on my gameplay, I am expecting to get a little bit less kills on Lua Conjunction because you spend more time fighting big dudes like Thraxes. So, like, in my gameplay, if a weapon had gotten, like, let's say 400 kills on Kver Survival, I'm usually looking at getting, like, 300 to 350 kills on Lua Conjunction. So that's about right. You know, ours was 450-ish on the Kua Survival. This was like 315-ish. Maybe still a little bit below average here. So like average-ish on the Kua Survival and a little bit below average on the Lua Conjunction. So this is a good weapon. It's, well, good as in like it's good enough. It's good enough to do Steel Path and to do pretty good in Steel Path. But it's average, you know, it's average. It's not amazing. You're not going to feel like, you know, a god playing with the Velox. Oh my goodness, look at that, 712 days, neural sensors. I still don't have Prime Surefooted. That's coming at 800 days. I haven't gotten that yet. I feel like it's a crutch, and so I've been playing for years without that crutch. So, yeah, the Velox Prime, I think it's definitely worth building out. It's fun. At the end of the day, it's kind of an average weapon, but like, let's say you're a brand new player. I know this is a brand new weapon, but let's say you're a brand new player and like this is your first Prime weapon. I think you should be happy. It's a decent enough weapon. It'll get you through Steel Path. So I hope you guys liked it. Again, this is the second video, so for people that watch the first video and then like they're coming back maybe to like look at their comments and stuff, I'm sorry that I deleted it. I just found out that this one was like slightly better, and my OCD wouldn't have let me sleep well knowing that. So I hope you guys liked it. If you like it, consider giving it a like. If you haven't subscribed yet, consider subscribing to me, or let me know what I could do to earn your sub. So thank you so much, guys. I hope you guys have a good day. Bye.